Hello, welcome everyone. You're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and this is also home of newstreamingnetwork.com, which is the Going Bold and the Going Solo and the WGSN-DB radio station. So we want to thank you guys for listening here today. Welcome to BIZBUZZ Igniting Success, and we are very happy to be here with you today on this business showcase that we have. I am your host. I am Cece Shatz. I am fondly called the Doyenne of relationship building. I'm a divorce, dating, and a life coach. I'm also the president of Going Solo Network, which is the owner of the new streaming network. So I want to thank you guys for being with us. And of course, let's get on with our guests because we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about digital marketing. You know, back in the day when I started internet, everyone said, oh, go get off the internet, get on regular TV, get on regular radio. And I thought, you know what? I think internet's a way of the future, right? And so exactly where we're at now, everybody during COVID started running to the internet, trying to get on the internet as much as possible. But today's guest knows the internet, he knows digital marketing, and he knows exactly what to do. We're going to bring him forward. Hello, Chris, come on forward.
Hey, Cece, how are you? Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, it is great having you. We're going to talk about revolutionized digital marketing with Chris, and it's Pistorius. Am I correct on that?
You're about 75% of the way there. Pistorius.
Pistorius. Okay, Pistorius.
You got it.
Yeah. So you've been in digital marketing for quite some time now. You've kind of revolutionized in it. You really tailored it and impact it to basically have strategies that you help corporations and business leaders themselves. And you're also kind of geared towards marketing for dentists. And we're going to get into that a little bit more because, you know, we always have a niche, right? They always tell us to have a niche. So I think that that's cool. But tell us a little bit about how did you get into digital marketing and making this your specialty?
Yeah, I wish I had a really cool story like I lost a bar fight or something, but I don't have anything like that. So back in the day, and this is going to age me, I worked for AOL Time Warner, which is like a dinosaur now, but I was doing advertising sales for them. And, you know, it turned into this, you know, we were selling a lot of ads back in the day to small, medium-sized businesses. And, you know, back then it was really just banner ads. That's all we really had, and some contextual advertising opportunities. And it was expensive and nobody really knew what they were going to get out of it. And it got to the point where we were just kind of pushing services and products to hit stock prices versus, you know, doing the right things for small businesses. And that wore me out pretty quickly. So I left there and started my own agency. Now, when we started, we took on pretty much anybody that would pay us, right? So I had 2 little kids at the time, and I left a pretty cushy job, and my wife was freaking out. So we took on, you know, lawyers and mechanics and doctors and dentists and, you know, everybody. But what we found out is that, you know, by the time we learned a new industry, like a lawyer or an auto mechanic, it took us some time to figure out the nuances in that industry. And sometimes that wasn't fair to our clients because they're spending basically money every month with us to learn how to market for that industry. So we were like, you know what, we need to really just niche down, be experts, you know, with something. Right. And at the time we had 5 or 6 dentists as clients. We were doing great with them. They were nice to work with. They paid their bills. That was always good. And we decided, what the heck, let's go with dentistry. And that was about 15 years ago. And here we are today.
Wonderful. Well, I know you've written a book, and I want to go ahead and share that with everyone, The Ultimate Guide to Internet Marketing for Dentists. And so, you know, it is good to be niched. You know, we've been in the singles industry for quite some time now, really helping singles through relationships and rebuilding their lives as they of their choice, we say. And so I understand this this niche marketing, which is very important. But basically, niche marketing, isn't it just really about kind of zeroing in on, you know, you're actually, I guess for us, it would be our listeners, right? It would be the ones that would be tuning in. Same thing for you, the dentist, it would be those that are interested in dentistry work and such. So it's just really homing in on that particular field. Am I correct?
It is. And a lot about what I talk about today will be very applicable to any small or medium-sized business. It's just dental is, the niche, and we're going after new patients versus maybe new customers or clients or whatever somebody else calls them. But the strategies are going to be very similar.
I love that, because that is true. You can use it and broaden it and then tweak it according to your business. So I believe that is absolutely true. So let's get on to that. Let's talk about some of those things that we can do to help us in digital marketing.
Well, there's a lot, and that's part of the problem. That's part of the gap that I see with small businesses is, 20 years ago, you put an ad in the yellow pages, maybe do some direct mail, and you're good. That's your marketing strategy, right? It was pretty simple, straight to the point. You could go to page 86 of your yellow page book and see your ad, right? Well, enter the internet, and there's 500 or 5,000 or 500,000 different places that a small or medium-sized business can really market themselves. And that's a problem because they don't have budgets to be spending a ton of money and hope something works. Hope isn't a great business strategy. So,
Right.
that's created a gap in the market, and I think it helps. I know it helps for us when, somebody like us with a lot of experience can come in and say, this is what works. This isn't what works. You need to focus on this and not that. Because most small businesses are typically started by people that are good at something, like working on cars or baking pies, whatever it may be. But a lot of times they're not good at the other things that are critical to run a business, like hiring, firing, marketing, technology, things like that. So that's where an agency like ours can really bridge that gap and bring it in. So, what's working and what's not is, we customize every strategy based on the demographics of our clients. So something that works in New York City probably won't work as well in Dallas because the demographics are so different. But there are some common threads, I think, that you can use just about anywhere, as long as you modify the demographic structure of the advertising. And that's Facebook ads is working really well for us. Google organic, so getting your website and your every business gets what's called a Google business profile. It's a free thing that Google creates for you.
Mm-hmm.
And to optimize that so that when somebody is searching for your business, you have the opportunity to show up very high on Google. Those are two things that you can really use to catapult your small or medium-sized business, and it won't cost you a lot of money to do that. Now, there's a lot of other avenues out there, some things that we do like video and help you get more reviews online, website design, mobile website design, live chats, Google ads, Google local service ads. There's a lot of stuff out there, like I mentioned earlier. But if it were me, those are probably the 2 or 3 things that I would focus on first.
Now, I do have a question for you. When it comes to the Google, being on the Google business, do you have to be a brick and mortar, or can you be like an online type of business?
Yeah, you can be an online business. There's a place within your Google business profile that you can actually omit your address if you like. So like this would be applicable to businesses that have service areas. So like plumbers and lawyers, people like that. You don't have to be 5 miles away to be relevant to them. You could be 100 miles away sometimes. So you can omit your physical address on there and just tell them that you actually have a service area. And online business would be the same.
Right. So that would be so important for those that really want more of a global search versus just a local search. And so that's very, very important to them. So, I guess what I'm hearing from you is to really know your target market, number one, right? To really know who it is that's going to be wanting your services, your products and services. So you've got to know that. And then understanding your range, right? Your area, what it is that goes in your particular area that you're going for. Now, I have found, and I don't know if you've found this at all, but I have found like social media marketing is great, but then it also is limiting because sometimes they limit you. You have to actually, you try to market for free as much as we can, right? We all do it. We all try to get out there and do everything we can for free, but they are limiting it more and more now because they do want those paid ads, don't they?
Yeah, it's a pay to play system now. The algorithm is really geared towards the pay to play. And a lot of businesses most people don't understand this, but essentially if you say you have 1,000 followers and you post something on Facebook right now, there's probably only 200 of those followers are actually going to see your content. because the algorithm does want to stop that. And so they offer what's called boost. You can boost your post for $5, $10, $20, $100, whatever your budget is. And then it will go out to many more of your followers, and it'll go out to people who don't even follow you. So you're absolutely right. Social media, Twitter is the same way, Instagram, they're all kind of built the same way, that just because you post something doesn't mean every follower you have is going to see it. In fact, probably only about 20 or 25% will.
Right. And then if you have any problems, like for instance, I will just share is that we have a terrible time with Facebook because for some reason they think we're a dating site. I don't know. I mean, I keep saying, has anybody ever watched what we do? Because we're not a dating site, but they seem to think that we are, and they won't let me boost.
It's because it's all computers that are running this. There's so much automation happening that it's hard to ever talk to somebody live in Google or at Facebook, Google as well, honestly. But, these algorithms make up the world. And if, they don't see you quite as the way they want to see you, then you're going to have problems. We have it too. We do some recruiting as well. So we help dental practices find people. And there's all kinds of rules against, employment ads with Facebook. So it can be frustrating.
Yeah, it sure can. But we also know that it's also important. And, there are many successes, because I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the internet and digital and all of that. So, I mean, I really do know that has always been the driving force on getting us out. So, so what other tips can we share with them now? Somebody told me at one time, you've got to be on many platforms. Is that true, or should you home in on a particular if I can talk today, it was nice, on a platform that really, resonates with you? Should you be on one, or should you be on many?
Well, you've probably heard the old adage of, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Well, the way we work and the way we build our strategies out is that we put a whole bunch of baskets out and put eggs in all of them. So no, you don't want to stick to one strategy. I'll give you a real life example. A small business owner in I think it was Newark, New Jersey, ranked number 1 on Google for every search you could think of relative to his business. And he would not try any other form of marketing or advertising because he said it's free for him and he doesn't have to worry about it. And there's no reason to do any other types of marketing. Well, guess what? Google changed their algorithm, and he was page 1 on Monday. And by Wednesday, he was about page 25. And he never got back to where he was. And he had nothing else to fall back on. He wasn't doing any sort of advertising, any other marketing. He wasn't doing social media, nothing. And it nearly cost him his business. So no, you should never rely on one source of marketing for anything.
Right.
You really need to have those many baskets with many eggs.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And the other thing I have found, because we do distribution of podcasting and TV and such, and what I have found is that different platforms have, different individuals that listen or watch or participate in.
Yeah.
And so you really have to kind of go where they're at. And the other thing is that by being on multiple, you can actually be able to get out there to more people, because like on one, we'll have like one platform, maybe we're not doing so good. And YouTube, we used to be bang up job on YouTube. Now there's so many shows out there. YouTube, we're a little bit down on YouTube, but we're breaking the bank at Roku, So, I mean, it's like, you just have to kind of go where the people are and just keep moving. So I love what you said, because I really do think that we have to remember not to be like a stick in the mud, right? Do the same thing all the time. We've got to really do different things. And so you have a big staff that kind of helps you figure out like what the latest trends are.
Constantly. Things in this world change so quickly that you have to be on top of them daily. So we're more of a boutique agency, so we're not a huge company, but there's 20 some of us that work here. So, we're big enough to get things done, but everybody's an expert in their own. So we've got a paid ads department, we've got a web development department, SEO, you name it. And all of those heads of those departments are responsible for like weekly going to their top sources of what's going on in the industry, what changes have happened this week, how could that potentially affect our clients. So it's not it's not just a one person thing. You've got to have all of your experts, constantly looking to see what's changing, because these algorithms change, the rules change, website development rules change. You've got to be on top of it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I just think it would take a team to do it.
It
And
does.
and us as business owners, we don't have that time, right? We don't have the time to continuously keep learning something that's outside of our expertise. So many, I think that's one of the biggest flaws in a business owner is that you try to do it all and you cannot. You really do need to keep what you're doing, right, as an expert, but then definitely go out to those outside that are the expert in their field. And digital marketing, man, there's trends and there's things that change all the time. So you have to be really, really up with it. So
Yeah.
let me ask you about, the old fashioned stuff, like what we used to have with, like some people, when I talk to individuals, it's like some people are visual, right? Some people like to read, and then other people want to hear something.
Yeah.
So how do you conquer that in the digital marketing stream of business?
Well, a lot of what we're talking about right now is voice search. So when people, versus typing something in and reading it, they like to use audio to speak into a device like an Alexa or something like that,
Mhm.
or their phone, and then get audio response back sometimes. So, voice search is kind of the Wild West right now, and people aren't really sure how to optimize for it. And there's certain industries where it makes more sense than others. Very few people right now are searching by voice for dental practices, for instance, because they
Mhm.
want to be able to see and read a little bit more than somebody might be looking for something else, right? But we're keeping on top of it. But I think that we've also have kind of come out with this product for our clients that allows them to do podcasts, so that they can be, you can do video like this with a podcast or audio or both.
Mhm.
And so we're trying to create a platform for them that allows them to do a podcast, and then we kind of help them through it and take them through the steps and how to do it. That can be another great way to build authority, as you well know.
Mhm.
We talk a lot with our clients about, you need to be the authority leader in dentistry in, Main Street, USA, right? When somebody
Right.
thinks of a dentist, they need to think of you. And so write a book, right? Go out and do podcasts, write press releases and get them picked up on major news networks. There's a lot of things that you can do to build authority. And I think podcasting is one of those. And it's a very audio friendly. So if people want to listen to it, they can just listen to the audio version. Or if they want to watch it, then here we are on TV right now. So
Mhm. Right. And that's exactly what happens is that when those that decide to go into, internet TV or into podcasting or even the radio, it really holds them, I think, a cut above those that aren't doing it, right? Because they truly are treated as experts in their field, and they might be the same, have the same qualifications and whatever as the guy next door, but the guy next door is not really out there and not showing all that he has to offer. So I do agree. I think that, the podcasting is a great idea. You have to do in digital marketing. It really puts you a cut above, and you can create that on your website so it makes it a little bit more user friendly for those that want to listen and things like that. So yeah, I think you're really onto something on doing that. So
yeah.
a lot of things with the dental, I'm thinking just in my head here is that comparing them to like doctors and other professionals, that hold degrees and specialties and things like that. It is so vital to be able to show that not only in the podcast world or the audio visual world, but also in the writing world. So what do you do with regards to those that need to have that out in writing? What do you do like directories and things like that? Are you on those?
Yeah, we do a lot of directories. We also help them with content by itself. So blog posting. We do, I don't know how many pieces of content we push out a month, but it's a lot. We don't
Mhm.
use AI for it. We use AI as it helps us come up with topics to write about and gives us suggestions, but we'll never get to the point, I don't think, where we just put in a prompt in AI and say, okay, well, here's your blog, right? So it's human interaction. It's human writing. And that goes a long way. So we do that with blog posts. We also do press releases for our clients, which I mentioned earlier. And then, the internet is one of those things that allows you to be omnipresent. And what I mean by that is you can be everywhere, right? And so we really want to try to be omnipresent, but within a client avatar. So you talked earlier about, you definitely need to know who your clients are and who you want to reach. Because if you don't, then you're just throwing a whole bunch of stuff against the wall and you're hoping for the best. So we really work with our clients in the beginning to come up with their new patient avatars. Who is it that you want to walk through the door demographically, right? And then it's our job to go figure out where those people hang out online and then make our clients omnipresent to them. Wherever they go, they all of a sudden see ABC Dentistry, right? Or whoever it is. So the internet gives us that unique way to do that. And content is a huge part of that. Putting it out in, words and audio, whatever it may be, make them an authority. Write ebooks, right? Ebooks are, 10-page books on, dental implants, maybe. Put it out there and let people download it for free. It gets your name out. It has some stickiness to it. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to use words to go a long way with marketing.
That's great. Well, let's talk a little bit more about this subject when we get back from our break, because I know we've got a lot of information that we can share with those that can really help their business. But before we go, I want to make sure you guys, again, know the book. The book is The Ultimate Guide to Internet Marketing for Dentists. And so if you're a dentist out there and you want to market yourself, definitely get this book. You can get it on Amazon, right? Amazon?
Yep,
okay.
Absolutely.
Yep, so you can do that. And then also, I want to share with everyone your website. Your website is Kickstart Dental. That's KICKSTART dental, DENTAL.com. And then, of course, you can reach Chris at CHRIS at kickstartdental.com. So go ahead and reach out to him, let him know that you heard him here today. We'd appreciate that. Also, we would love for you guys to subscribe, like, and share all of our information. We would really appreciate that, as you always do, and we want to thank you for that. So we're going to be right back. So just go grab a cup of coffee and we'll be right back. Well, we're back, and you guys, I hope you guys got your cup of coffee or your drink, because we've got a lot that's happening here on the BIZBUZZ Igniting Success, and we are on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and we hope that you guys are enjoying the show. We're talking about revolutionized digital marketing with Chris, and we are so happy to have him with us here. He is from kickstartdental.com, and he wrote a great book, The Ultimate Guide to Internet Marketing for Dentists. So we want to make sure you guys go right out to Amazon and purchase the book, because I think it will definitely help you. Chris, before the break, we covered a lot. We covered a lot of information. So those out there that maybe missed the first part of it, you got to go back and listen, because it's well worth it. And I just appreciate your time here with us today. So, we talked a little bit more about, we talked about podcasting, being on TV, getting yourself out, getting yourself known as being the expert. And then we talked a little bit about word, right? We talked about how can we get our words out? How can we be known as the expert in our field? And you were talking about blogs and things like that. Is there any other thing that you can think of? Like, what about the old-fashioned emailing? Are you still doing that? The email? People don't really like the email blast. What do you think?
We test it and we play around with it. And I do some of it with my agency, reaching out to dental practices. But it's like anything else. I think it's worth testing, because some industries it works better than others. And there's another way to look at it. What I'm really referring to right now is cold emailing, right? Like you buy a list of emails and, blast them out. But emailing to current clients or past clients is a very good idea, because it keeps you top of mind. It allows you to run a special and send them a coupon for coming back, whatever it may be. So it's very powerful for current clients or past clients.
Yeah, I have found it to work very well for us because people like to stay in touch, but also give them more information than just, the sales. And like you said, give them the coupon, give them, let them know that the special is on. Something that's really, truly going to benefit them. And I think that's what we miss out sometimes when we email. We don't really look at our customers or look at the people that are listening to us. We want to make sure that we give them value, and which is important. I get a lot of emails that I have no value. They're just, something it's just an advertisement coming across my, my email type of thing. And so that makes it very hard. Now, what about, and I know we're talking more about digital, but what about like billboards and, those kind of advertisements? What do you think of that stuff?
Facebook ads are so powerful that, to me anyway, they've taken the place of things like billboards and benches. You always see realtors' face on like bus stop benches, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what you're doing there is that you are just blasting out kind of old school called outbound marketing. You're just getting yourself out there and you're hoping that 1% of those people are looking for an insurance agent or a dentist or whatever it may be, right? But with Facebook ads, you can do the same thing, but you can target your ideal clients instead. So instead of just blasting everyone, you can blast the 25 to 34-year-old female with 2.5 kids and a golden retriever that owns her own home, right? And
Right.
You can make sure that those ads are seen by her, right? And you can make sure that they're seen in whatever radius of your office that you want them to be seen. So it's much more targeted. It's the same concept of branding, because with Facebook, you're just, you're targeting demographics. You're not targeting how people search on Facebook or anything like you would on Google. So to me, instead of the traditional kind of outbound branding, I think Facebook and Instagram ads are way more efficient.
Yeah, I think that's bang for your buck, isn't it? If you're gonna spend your money, why have a one-hit wonder on the while you're driving by, versus on the internet. So yeah, I totally agree with you on that. I just think anything that's digital is the way to go. I know you probably do too. So because you're in that marketing field, but we're growing and growing. So do you see any like new trends that are happening that we need to maybe be aware of?
I'm seeing the use of traditional marketing revolutionized a little bit. So for instance, postcards, direct mail, right? You get those all the time in the mail, and usually people just throw them right into the trash, right? Well, there's a new way to do this. It's actually pretty smart. So what we do is that we can put special code on our websites. And when somebody reaches that website, and this is legal, so it's not like we're breaking the law here or anything, but this code allows about 50% of the time, if somebody comes to the website, we can get their name and their mailing address without them having to fill anything out. Okay. So what that means is that we have it set up to where if they go to a page for dental implants, right? If they go to a specific page, and we can capture their information, we automatically send a postcard out to that person's address that day. So in a day or two afterwards, they were on the website and they get a postcard from our client as well, with maybe an offer or a special about dental implants, because we knew that they were on that page of the website. So it's incredibly relevant. And, people get the card and they're like, oh, you know what? I was looking at these guys the other day online. I was meaning to schedule an appointment. Maybe I should do that. They're giving me an offer for a free exam or whatever it may be. So it's traditional marketing, but with a very new, I think, smarter spin on it.
Right, absolutely. Now, is that like a plugin that people can use, or get it put on their WordPress?
It's a piece of Java code that we put on the websites that allow us to do that. Yeah.
Okay, so those of you that are out there listening, you want something like this on your website, you need to contact Chris.
And let me just tell your listeners, sorry to interrupt, but even if you're not a dentist, feel free to reach out to me on my website. I'd be more than happy to help you and talk to you and give you some free advice. So.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you so much for that. We really do appreciate it. And again, I want to share your information. It's kickstartdental.com. And then you can reach Chris at, and CHRAS at kickstartdental.com. So send him an email if there's something you're interested in. But I think really we need to all of us have that on our website. So when people are there, wanting to research something, that we can actually know what they're researching and maybe get them some further information for them. So I think that's a terrific idea. So thanks for sharing that with us.
Sure.
Well, we're going to have to wrap up the show. Is there any last words or anything like that you want to share with our audience that we might not have covered?
I think that, you started your business for a reason if you're listening to this and you have a business, and that's to be successful and really love what you're doing. So make sure you're doing those things. Be successful. Make sure you love what you're doing. And if you don't love it, then maybe it's time to do something different. But if you really want it to succeed and get out there, then don't do what I call ostrich marketing, which is just kind of put your head in the sand because you're not sure how to market your business. Find somebody that can help you with it, because it can absolutely change your whole world. So stick with it. There's always going to be ups and downs, and most of all, have fun with it.
Oh, thank you so much for that. We always need a little bit of encouragement, but also to understand that we do need to do things smartly. And so it's great to be able to have an expert like yourself. So again, please go to kickstartdental.com or contact Chris at CHRAS at kickstartdental.com. And of course, make sure you go out to Amazon and get his book, The Ultimate Guide to Internet Marketing for Dentists. And like he said, if you guys are not a dentist and you are in a different field, he can probably help you, give you some advice, send you in the right direction of what you need to do on marketing your business. Because, digital marketing, even though, it's probably specialized for dentists, it also has elements that all of us can use to benefit our business. And I think today you showed us that in many, many ways in things that you've shared with us. So I want to thank you so much, Chris, for being with us here today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But it's great having you. Okay, everyone, you're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. It is great having you here on the show. We hope that you enjoyed BIZBUZZ Igniting Success. Check out our website, newsstreamingnetwork.com, home of Going Bold and Going Solo. And I'm Cece Shatz, your host here today, and it was so great being with you. So I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.